I spent 3 days making a cake nobody could eat. The sound wasn't a slice. It wasn't the soft, yielding whisper of a sharp blade gliding through layers of moist vanilla sponge and raspberry coulis. It was a dull, hollow thunk. It sounded like someone hitting a bicycle helmet with a hammer. I was sitting in my living room, streaming the event on my phone via an anonymous account, and even through the tinny speakers of my iPhone, the sound was unmistakable. On the screen, the bride, Tiffany, known to her 200,000 followers as at Tiffany's Tips, stopped smiling. Her perfectly contoured face froze. Her hand, gripping the silver cake knife wrapped in a satin bow, trembled. She pushed harder. Thunk. The knife bent. The handle dug into her palm. The 5-tier, ivory-and-gold masterpiece standing before her didn't yield an inch. It sat there, defiant, impenetrable, and structurally sound enough to support a small vehicle. The 200 guests in the banquet hall went silent. The DJ cut the music. And then, a confused murmur started to ripple through the crowd like a wave of cold water. "Babe," the groom whispered, his voice caught by the microphone he was still holding. "Why isn't it cutting?" Tiffany looked at the knife. She looked at the cake. Then she looked directly into the camera of her hired videographer, her eyes widening with a dawning, horrific realization. I took a sip of my wine. It was a cheap Merlot, but in that moment, it tasted like the nectar of the gods. "Cut harder," I whispered to the screen. To understand why I fed a block of packing foam to a blushing bride, you have to understand the sheer, unmitigated audacity that walked into my life 3 weeks ago. I owned the Gilded Crumb. It's not a hobby. It's not a side hustle. It is a high-end, boutique bakery that I built from the ground up with my own sweat, tears, and flour-coated hands. I studied in Paris. I wake up at 3 a.m. every single day to laminate dough. My rent is high, my ingredients are imported, and my time is expensive. My phone pinged on a Tuesday afternoon. It was an Instagram DM. At Tiffany's Tips. "Hey hun, obsessed with your feed. Truly stunning work. I'm getting married on February 14th, Valentine's wedding, and I need a cake. I'm thinking 5 tiers, gold leaf, sugar flowers, the works. I want it to be the centerpiece of the room." I smiled. Business is business. I typed back. "Hi Tiffany, thank you so much. I'd love to work with you. A 5-tier custom design with sugar work and gold leaf usually starts around $1,200 depending on the complexity. If you're interested, we can set up a tasting consultation." The response came 3 seconds later. The typing bubble bobbed furiously. She said, "Oh, LOL, I think you misunderstood. This is a collab opportunity. I have 200k followers. My engagement is insane right now. I'm going to tag you in every post, do a dedicated reel about the cake, and put you on my story highlights. The exposure alone is worth like $5,000, so I wouldn't be paying cash. We'd be trading value." I felt the heat rising in my neck. The E word. Exposure. The currency of the delusional. I took a breath. I tried to be professional, and said, "I appreciate the offer, Tiffany, but I don't work for exposure. My ingredients and labor have fixed costs. I can offer you a 10% discount as a courtesy, but I can't do a free wedding cake." I put the phone down and went back to glazing eclairs. I thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. 10 minutes later, my phone started buzzing. Not once, not twice. It was vibrating across the stainless steel counter like an angry hornet. "At Tiffany's Tips. Are you joking? Do you know who I am? I am offering you a career-making moment and you're talking about fixed costs. You should be paying me to feature your cake." Another message popped up. "Form here. You know what? Forget the discount. Do it for free, or I'm going to make sure nobody in this city buys a cupcake from you ever again." I stopped glazing. I wiped my hands on my apron. I picked up the phone and reread the message. I replied, "Are you threatening me?" She said, "I'm promising you. I have a very loyal following. If I tell them I found a rat in your bakery, or that your staff was rude to me, they'll believe me. I can tank your Yelp rating in an afternoon. I've done it before to brands that didn't want to play ball. So, let's try this again. Are you going to make my cake, or are you going to go out of business?" I stared at the screen. My vision went blurry with rage. I could feel my pulse hammering in my temples. This wasn't just a choosing beggar. This was extortion. This was a bully with a platform weaponizing her audience to steal from a small business owner. What you have to understand is that what I was about to build wasn't just a prank. It was an architectural marvel of deception. Making a fake cake look real is actually harder than making a real cake. This one ingredients were high-density foam and spackle. To watch full video kindly click here.